Namaskar and welcome to Express News. Here's the national news first. India's President Draupadi Murmu inaugurated and addressed the gathering at the Mahayogi Guru Gorakhnath Ayush University in Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. President Murmu attended the exhibition at the Guru Gorakhnath Ayush University. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and the Governor Anandiben Patel were present. The Union Cabinet approved the employment-linked incentive scheme to support employment generation, enhance employability and social security across all sectors, with special focus on the manufacturing sector. Briefing media, the Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announced that the ELI scheme aims to incentivize the creation of more than 3.5 crore jobs in the country over a period of 2 years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended best wishes to all hard-working doctors on National Doctors' Day today. Taking to X, the Prime Minister called them the true protectors of health and the pillars of humanity. The Prime Minister also wished all chartered accountants on the occasion of Chartered Accountants' Day. PM Modi emphasized that the precision and expertise of chartered accountants are essential for every organization. The goods and services tax, widely hailed as one of the biggest economic reforms, completed 8 successful years, with collections rising to a record 22.08 lakh crore rupees in FY 2024-25. This marked a year-on-year growth of 9.4%, with the number of taxpayers in its ambit surging past 1.51 crores. The average monthly collection stood at 1.84 lakh crore rupees in 2024-25. In 2020-21, the total collection was 11.37 lakh crore rupees, with a monthly average of 95,000 crore rupees. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday shared a detailed reflection on the completion of 10 years of the Digital India initiative through his blog titled A Decade of Digital India. PM Modi stressed that while previous decades were marked by skepticism about Indians' ability to use technology, this government has changed that approach by trusting the citizens' capabilities. Under Prime Minister's Digital India initiative, India offers one of the world's most affordable internet with data, priced below 10 rupees per GB. In its new guidelines on financial inclusion and anti-money laundering and terrorist financing measures, the Financial Action Task Force has extensively endorsed India's institutional mechanisms such as Jan Dhan in the fight against financial crime. The Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav today launched the Rail One app, which is a one-stop solution for all passenger services. The app offers ease of access for services like ticketing, enquiries of trains and more. Addressing the event, the minister said that the passengers can book the unreserved ticket through the app. Delhi has enforced a fuel ban on end-of-life vehicle. This is to ensure strict implementation, and 350 teams from various government departments are deployed at all 498 fuel stations across the city. India and Pakistan on Tuesday exchanged lists of prisoners under the 2008 Consular Access Agreement in New Delhi and Islamabad. India demanded early release of 159 prisoners, that's Indian prisoners, who completed their sentences, and the safety of all Indian detainees. The Indian Navy commissioned its latest stealth multi-role frigate INS Tamal at Kaliningrad in Russia. This is the last warship of the Indian Navy to be built outside of India and the 8th multi-role stealth frigate inducted from Russia over the past 2 decades. The business news now. At an event held in the Bharat Mandapam in Delhi, to mark the completion of 1 year since the enactment of 3 new criminal laws, the Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that India's conviction rate is currently lower than that of several other countries. The minister noted that justice will be delivered within 3 years after the filing of an FIR after the complete implementation of these laws in the country. The latest report from Morgan Stanley's Global Investment Committee projected India's real GDP growth at 5.9% in 2025 and 6.4% in 26, reaffirming it as the fastest growing economy. India's equity indices ended on a positive note in a volatile session on Tuesday. At close, the Sensex climbed 91 points to settle at 83,697. The Nifty jumped 24.75 points to 25,542. Gold futures maturing on August 5 were priced at 97,300 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for July 4 maturity stood at 106,738 per kg on the MCX. This is rupees. The Indian rupee rose 25 paise to close at 85.51 against the US dollar on Tuesday. Oil prices were steady on Tuesday as investors assessed expectations that OPEC Plus will announce an output hike for August at an upcoming meeting. Brent crude was up to $66.79 per barrel. This is while US West Texas crude was up 4 cents at $65.15 a barrel. The international news now. On the sidelines of the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington, D.C., India's External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar held talks with the Japanese Foreign Minister Takeshi Iwaya. Leaders held discussions on infrastructure, investment and mobility and exchanged views on deepening Quad engagement for a free and open Indo-Pacific. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jai Shankar also appreciated the UNSC's strong condemnation of the Pahalgam terror attack and the need to hold its perpetrators accountable. Addressing the gathering at the inauguration of the exhibition on the human cost of terrorism at the UN headquarters in New York, the minister called on the international community to stand united against terrorism. The minister also underlined the shared and urgent responsibility of the global community to combat terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Dr. Jai Shankar also held a conversation with Dev Pragad, who's of Newsweek, and he shared his perspectives on India's role and position in a multipolar world as a civilizational state. In her statement at the third plenary meeting during the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development, India's Finance Minister Sitharaman, she said that the country has consistently placed people at the center of its development strategies. She added that, through the targeted policy interventions, India has lifted 250 million people out of multidimensional poverty, empowering communities through inclusive digital public infrastructure. Thailand's Constitutional Court has suspended the Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra on Tuesday pending a dismissal of a case. Now, the Thailand Deputy Prime Minister Surya will be taking over as the Premier after the Prime Minister's suspension. The leaked call with the Cambodian leader triggered domestic outrage. This is in Thailand. And the call said that it was said to diffuse escalating border tensions with Cambodia, and it had recorded that Shinawatra had criticized a Thai army commander. The US President Donald Trump on Monday, he signed an executive order which lifted US sanctions on Syria, ending the country's isolation from the global financial system. Despite this, the order keeps in place some sanctions against Syria's former President Bashar al-Assad and his close associates, as well as the ISIS members and Iranian-backed groups. The United States has announced a $510 million sale. This is to Israel of bomb guidance kits. It's also given related support to enhance Israel's capabilities. The arms sale announcement came ahead of the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's visit to the White House, which is happening next week, for talks with the US President Trump. The US Senate Republicans sought to pass President Donald Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending bill early on Tuesday morning. This is despite divisions within the party. The Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro urged a boycott of WhatsApp, accusing it of spying and also of psychological warfare to destabilize his government. The Venezuelan government accused the United States of holding 18 children kidnapped during deportation process carried out by Washington to expel migrants from that country. The former South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has skipped questioning on Tuesday by a special prosecutor investigating his December declaration of martial law. In London, protesters gathered in Parliament Square on Monday to rally against the proposed reforms to welfare. Police have identified the gunman who ambushed and fatally shot two firefighters responding to a forest fire in northern Idaho. Let's head for a short break. You're watching the Express News. Stay tuned. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. Wildfires in France's Aude department have scorched 400 hectares amid temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius, prompting evacuations. This is the weather news. Fires in southern France are also under control but not extinguished, as the Met Department there has issued orange heatwave alerts for 84 departments. In Turkey's Izmir province, wildfires rage for a second day, fueled by strong winds and leading to mass evacuations. Over 50,000 people have been evacuated in Turkey, including 42,000 from Izmir, as fires spread across 5 regions. Germany braces for extreme heat this week, with temperatures expected to exceed 40 degrees Celsius and officials issuing public health warnings. Flash floods in northwestern Italy's Argentera. They have killed one person and caused landslides, cutting off access to mountain roads. Heavy rains in central China have killed 2 people and left 6 others missing. This is what the state media reported on Tuesday as the country endures a summer surge in extreme weather. Storms and tornadoes caused major damage across northeastern South Dakota over the weekend. Active monsoon conditions in India are bringing heavy rainfall to northwest, central and east regions of the country this week, according to the Met Department of India. Delhi is under a yellow alert as the IMD has forecast light to moderate rainfall, which will continue until July 5. Himachal Pradesh reels under incessant rains for 72 hours, with Mandi district the worst hit by 4 cloudburst incidents. The IMD has issued a red alert for Himachal Pradesh, warning of landslides and floods in vulnerable areas. Brazil's National Museum in Rio reopens after years of restoration following a devastating 2018 fire that destroyed most of its collection. San Pedro's Humelula's mayor, he has participated in a symbolic wedding with a live cayman, and this is a tradition meant, to bring prosperity in the Mexican town. Ivory Coast unveils a new wing of its first archaeological museum after Stone Age artifacts were discovered during dam construction. Crowds gathered at Berlin's Botanical Garden to witness a rare and pungent blooming of a corpse flower known for its foul odor. Thailand opens its first school built from recycled waste using over 800,000 plastic bags to aid earthquake recovery and promote sustainability. China's Tianwen-2 probe, now over 12 million kilometers from Earth, has captured stunning new images of Earth and the Moon in deep space. Japan's Mount Fuji opened to climbers from Yamanashi Prefecture. This happened on Tuesday, marking the start of the summer climbing season. Turkmenistan celebrated the second anniversary of its high-tech smart city, Arkadag, with grand festivities filled with music and joy. Thousands of Bosnian Muslims gathered at Ajvatavika to pray for water in one of Europe's largest Islamic events. In Vietnam, 18,000 temples and monasteries rang bells and drums in unison, praying for peace and prosperity on a historic day of administrative reform. Joby Aviation conducted the first test flight of its fully electric air taxi in the Emirate this week, a major milestone in the city's efforts to integrate airborne transport. Celebrations kick off in Himachal Pradesh's Dharamshala ahead of the 14th Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, which will be officially marked on the 6th of July. Devotees packed the Hanuman Ghadi Mandir, this is in Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya, and they offered Tuesday prayers, drawing large crowds to the revered temple. A sequel to The Devil Wears Prada is officially in production, set to release on May 1, 2026, exactly 19 years after the original film's debut. Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway, the Emily for The Devil Wears Prada 2, joined by Kenneth Branagh in an undisclosed role. Amazon MGM Studios, they have released the first trailer of the Project Hail Mary, with the sci-fi film slated for release on March 20, 2026 under directors Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Director Matt Reeves and writer Mattson Tomlin have completed the script of The Batman 2 over 3 years after the release of the original film starring Robert Pattinson. Ahead of the release of Jurassic World Rebirth, American actor Scarlett Johansson and the British actors Jonathan Bailey and Rupert Friend promoted their new film in Seoul. Netflix partners with NASA to offer viewers a live rocket launch, and several of them actually, and spacewalks from the ISS, with NASA Plus content remaining free online. Ivory Coast is emerging as a growing force in African cinema, with crews from across West Africa, gathering near Abidjan, and they are shooting a feature film there, The Testament. Vishnu Manchu's Kannappa, it continues its successful run at the box office despite recent reports of piracy affecting the film. The Kajol starrer, the horror thriller Ma, it continues its strong run, earning nearly 20 crore rupees at the domestic box office. Amir Khan's Sitare Zameen Par surpassed 125 crore rupees in total earnings after 11 days. Some of the sports news now, and the Union Cabinet on Tuesday has approved a new sports policy, a National Sports Policy 2025. It lays out a visionary and strategic roadmap to establish India as a global sporting powerhouse. India will take on England in the second of the 5-match test series of the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. This is going to be at Edgbaston in Birmingham. It starts Wednesday. England named an unchanged playing 11 for the second test against India, which starts in Birmingham on Wednesday. And Jasprit Bumrah is fit and available for the second test against England. That's good news for India. But India is not giving away whether he's going to be playing at Edgbaston. The Indian Test opener Yashasvi Jaiswal will continue to play for domestic giants Mumbai after the state cricket body has approved the withdrawal of his earlier request for an NOC. Australian spin great Nathan Lyon, he has expressed his desire to continue playing Test cricket, particularly aiming for an away series victory in India before retirement. And India's vice-captain Smriti Mandhana on Tuesday moved up one spot to be ranked third in the ICC rankings for batters in women's T20 internationals. MS Dhoni's application to trademark the phrase Captain Cool has been officially accepted and published by the Trademark Registry of India. Captain Cool. Defending champion Carlos Alcaraz survived a major scare in his Wimbledon opener. He dug deep for his 5-set win over the 38-year-old Fabio Fognini. The Danish 8th seed Holger Rune also threw away a 2-set lead and he lost to the Chilean Nicolas Jarry. Rune won the opening 2 sets, but he lost the match. The 9th seed Daniel Medvedev suffered a shock first-round defeat to the French journeyman Benjamin Bonzi. The Indian athlete Kishore Jaina has pulled out of the Neeraj Chopra Classic Javelin event, which is slated to take place on Saturday in Bengaluru. Fluminense has sent Inter Milan packing from the Club World Cup with a 2-0 win in Charlotte that took the Brazilian side through to the quarterfinals. Al Hilal secured a 4-3 upset victory over Manchester City in Orlando. They've reached the quarterfinals as well of the Club World Cup. And finally, Real Madrid will take on Italian club Juventus in their round of 16 clash at the Club World Cup on Tuesday. That's all we have in Express News. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.